Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we got a little shop update for you. What's going on in our shop. So we actually got our Ranger in here. It's a 2005 500 Polaris Ranger. We bought it brand new, and it's been our main workhorse on the farm here since then. And it's gone through some surgeries, but today it's in here for a drive shaft issue. So our drive shaft kept coming off, and I found out that our brackets are actually pulling away from the frame and they're actually cracked. I replaced these brackets once before, probably a year or two ago, maybe longer. I can't remember. It's always in here for something, it seems like. It's just it's an old unit, 2005. I mean, she's rusty, she's banged up, she's loose all over. I mean, I don't know if you can see that, sure. Needs some wheel bearings. I got them here for it. So we're going to be taking the rear diff out of here and everything else off that we have to loop the bearings, and get that rear diff back in place and drive shaft back on it. So that's one of the projects we got going on. We also have my 2011 Ram 3500 in here for some front end work. We're going to do some tie rod ends, track bar, and we're going to do ball joints right away. Just some maintenance stuff going through it. Just kind of getting a little loose in the steering, typical Dodge. But it is what it is. It's a good truck otherwise. So we'll be doing some of that stuff. I got tore apart just to figure out what was all loose and what we needed. So that should be coming in this week sometime, later in the week. We also got our cylinder head for the pulling truck over here. I've been drilling out the head stud, or the, I guess, head bolt holes, original ones, because we went with a bigger head stud. That'll be on a separate video. We'll be showing you that, along with the engine block, which is over here. We disassembled it in the last video, and that's about as far as it got. Just kind of been waiting on doing some other stuff before we dive into that. So like I said, that'll be on a different video by itself, but today we're kind of just wrapping up, I shouldn't say wrapping up, getting started on the Ranger project. Once the parts come in for this, we'll be doing on the truck project. And then, I don't know if you guys have been wondering about the tractor in the background here. 8630 Ford. We just did a head job on it maybe a month ago. It's about, I'd say, 50 hours on it, and we got coolant in the oil. So we're going to be kind of diving into this once the other products are out of here. I'm hoping it's just the oil cooler. The oil cooler is part of the radiator on this tractor. If you guys don't know much about the Fords, the TW series, I'd say I think 25, maybe 25, at least 35, because we have one. They have an oil cooler built in right here. A little better setup than I think what this is, but I'm hoping it's the oil cooler on this, because I'll just get a aftermarket external one, hang it in front of the radiator, and plug that original one off. So that'll be an up and coming project to diagnose that. Hopefully something simple, but we'll get you to some action here working on the Ranger, and hopefully the pickup truck yet. So stick around. Okay, so we got everything tore apart here. Got our hubs off, got the diff out. So here's these brackets. Kitty cat, wanna say hi? Here's the brackets. You know, so they're just kind of cracked there. This one's a little worse. So I think we'll just end up bending them back, cleaning them up, welding them, and calling them good for today. So on the frame side, this one ripped completely out right here. That one is on its way. So I'll probably just end up either we'll take that one out, pound it back down. I'm thinking I'm just cut some steel to put on the back side and just kind of sandwich the frame in there. That should be pretty decent. There'll be a lot more meat there anyhow, so not too worried about that. This one we had where is it? This bushing did not want to let go of the bolt, so I ended up cutting it off. Hopefully I can kind of get that out of there yet and just throw a bolt in it without having to buy a new bushing. I really don't want to spend a whole lot of money on this unit. I mean, it could run all summer, it could die next week, I don't know. It's kind of one of them things, end of the line, kind of keep her going type vehicle. So we'll hopefully get that bolt out of there. And the bearing, this side is still intact, but it's dry. You probably can't hear that at all, even with the air hose leaking here anyway. This side, the bearing fell completely apart. Was definitely the worst of two sides. So bearing still somewhat in there, at least one side of it is. Everything else fell apart, so race. So we'll get the, I think we'll do the diff first. I'll get some plates cut for that, and then I'll get back to you guys putting it back together. What do you think, kitty cat? Sound like a good plan? Alright guys, we got our bearings swapped over, and we got some pieces made here for our frame. So bearings weren't too bad, popped right out. Got the new guys in here. And we also were not able to salvage that other bushing, so I had to end up torching the whole thing out, and we ended up getting two new pieces here. So that'll go back together, both sides there. As far as our frame pieces go, I had some 2-inch flat stock here. Looks like 1/4 inch. So I cut them 10 inches long. I kind of gave the sides a little bit of a, I guess you call it chamfer, ground them down just a little bit so we can slide them in to our frame here. So I have one piece in there already. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna drill this hole out here was just in the frame for some reason, and then our existing holes here through that piece, sandwich it in there, and I think we'll call that a day on that. So but yeah, so the pieces just kind of sit right up in there, and then they'll be snug tight with the bolts on there. So I'll set you guys up, and we'll get these holes drilled out and the diff back in there. Okay, so we kind of got the diff in there, ran into a little bit of a problem. So our bolts are just a little narrow to get our bracket in there. And I did weld up the brackets for the diff here. So both sides turned out pretty decent actually. Let me see in there or what. It's not too bad. So I'll just take this back out, take the grinder, just notch a little notch in there so it goes around these bolts, and I think we'll be just fine. Okay, so we got the diff back in there, all bolted down. I think it turned out pretty decent. That hole didn't quite line up, but, or my notch on my, where I cut out there, but it'll work. So 3 bolts with the plate in the bottom. That should hold pretty good. Got the drive shaft back on there. Everything's nice and snug there. So we'll finish up putting the A-arms, all that stuff back together, the bearing housings, get everything back together, and we'll go from there. Okay guys, we got her all back together. Went together, I guess, as good as it could have went. Had to add a couple different bolts, but she's in working order again. So it's not the prettiest unit. I'm pretty sure the shocks are out of this thing. Whatever. Just our farm bomb, just to go get the cows in, haul stuff around. So other than that, it's a pretty handy machine. Alright guys, we got the Ranger out of the shop. It's going to be back to work soon. We're going to give it a bath, and she'll be put back to work for the summer. Hopefully it makes it through the summer. Like I said, she's an old unit. Kind of just limp it along. As we need to, we fix it up. So that's going to wrap this video up. So we will see you on the next one.